Picture two people in the same room, same age, same access to Google, YouTube, books, everything. 10 years later, one of them thinks in a completely different league. Sharper questions, faster decisions, a calmness that comes from actually understanding things. The other person is still scrolling, still meaning to read that book, still waiting to feel ready. Same starting line, wildly different finish. The gap isn't talent, it's a system, and I'm going to hand you all 8 pieces of it.
Here's what nobody tells you. Intelligence isn't loaded in at birth like a stat in a video game. It's built, daily, through habits most people never bother to install. So let's install them. 1. Pick a lane and stay in it. Jumping from crypto to psychology to productivity every week doesn't make you well-rounded. It makes you shallow 8 different ways. Real depth comes from staying with one subject long after the novelty wears off. Choose the one skill that would actually move your life forward and give it 3 months before you're allowed to get bored of it. 2. Wrestle with the material. Don't just watch it. Passive consumption is the illusion of learning. Your brain barely tags a video you half-watched while scrolling. But explain that same idea out loud, in your own words, to an empty room, and suddenly it sticks. Interaction is what converts information into understanding. 3. Read like it's a competitive advantage, because it is. In a world where most people won't finish a single book this year, 10 focused pages a day quietly puts you ahead of almost everyone. Not for the trivia, for the muscle. Reading trains your brain to sit with complexity instead of flinching toward the next dopamine hit. 4. Guard your attention like it's the last resource you own. Because it is. Every ping, swipe, and 15-second video is a tiny withdrawal from your ability to think clearly. You can't build a sharp mind on a foundation that's constantly being interrupted. Protecting your focus isn't discipline for its own sake. It's the actual precondition for intelligence. 5. Learn from people who've built something, not just people who talk well. Anyone can sound confident behind a microphone. Far fewer have the scar tissue of actually doing the thing. Trade the algorithm's favorite voices for biographies, long-form interviews, and the quiet habits of people with real, verifiable results. 6. Get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. A thought that stays in your head stays vague. The moment you write it down, you're forced to finish the sentence, and half-formed ideas become real ones. This is why nearly every serious thinker in history kept a notebook. Writing isn't just recording thoughts, it's how thoughts get built. 7. Let yourself be bored on purpose. Most people fill every silent moment because sitting with their own mind feels uncomfortable. But that discomfort is where the good ideas live. Leave the phone at home for one walk. Sit with a question instead of your feed. Some of your clearest thinking is waiting on the other side of boredom. 8. Turn every insight into an action within 48 hours. Knowledge that never leaves your Notes app is just clutter with good intentions. Learn something about discipline? Build one small routine today. Learn something about communication? Say one thing differently in your next conversation. The people who seem naturally sharp aren't hoarding more information, they're just converting it faster. None of this requires a high IQ or a library card the size of a university. It requires choosing depth over noise, action over accumulation, and doing it again tomorrow. That's the whole system. And the door's open right now. You don't need permission to start.